Hi, I'm Steve. I'm the CEO and founder of Roma Batteries, and today we're going to talk about active balancing on lithium iron phosphate batteries. Lithium phosphate batteries are most commonly used in camper van boats and off-grid solar systems. They consist of multiple cells like this connected in series. For optimal performance and longevity, these cells must remain balanced. It means that their voltages are kept as equal as possible. If one cell becomes significantly out of balance with the others, it can cause problems such as premature battery shutdowns, reduced capacity, and accelerated cell wear. So this is why a battery management system with a cell balancer is essential in modern lithium battery technology. Now, the old-fashioned method of balancing cells is known as passive balancing. And the way these work is excess energy from the higher voltage cells is dissipated as heat through a resistor, which then brings them in line with the lower voltage cells. Now, it's a simple, cost-effective approach, which is why many companies still use it. There are some problems with passive balancing. First of all, the balancing is very slow. Typically, passive balancers operate at low currents, so between 40 and 120 milliamps. Now, this makes it difficult to balance large cells quickly. In larger batteries, which is the trend at the moment, such as those with capacities of 400 amp hours or more, it could take days or even months of continuous charging to correct even a small imbalance. The next one is there's a limited balancing window. Passive balancing usually only occurs while charging and also during the absorption stage of charging. Now, this can be a short period, usually less than an hour per day, and that assumes that you cycle it every day too. So this gives a very short window to balance the cells, especially in the cases of irregular charging, like when you're using lead acid charges or you're doing infrequent battery use. So this is how you would tend to use it in a camper van or a boat. For example, if you have a 460 amp hour battery and one of those cells is 1% out of balance, it could take a passive balancer running at 120 milliamps over 134 hours to fully correct that 1% imbalance. That's a pretty impractical time frame for leisure batteries. Active balancing moves excess energy directly from the higher voltage cell to the lower voltage cell. So this is different because instead of burning off as heat, this method allows for continuous balancing at higher currents without energy loss. This ensures that the battery stays well balanced both during charging and discharging. There's several advantages of active balancing. Now, number one, and the main one, is much faster balancing. Roma's active balancing operates at 2 amps. That's 20 times faster than a typical passive balancer. And in our previous example, where that passive balancer would have taken days or months to correct that balance, an active balancer would achieve the same result in just 8 hours. The second advantage is it can continuously balance. Active balancing runs even during discharge and in storage if needed, and that ensures that your battery stays well balanced over time. Now, for camper van owners who may not charge their batteries regularly, this is a crucial advantage as it prevents cell drift and premature BMS shutdowns. Number three is this can prevent cell overvoltage shutdowns. Now, with better cell balance, there's a much lower chance of one cell reaching over voltage during charging. Now, this would normally trigger a BMS shutdown and potentially damage that connected equipment. It's especially important for those people who are charging directly from an alternator on a boat. A BMS shutdown causes a voltage spike, and that can damage that connected alternator. Now, the final one that we want to talk about is that an active balancer can handle very irregular charge profiles. So whether you're charging at 13.8 volts or 14.4 volts, doesn't matter nearly as much now. The Roma active balancer keeps those cells in line, makes Roma batteries much more forgiving of uneven charge patterns, which are common in camper van and boats. Now, there are some misconceptions about active balancing that deserve clarification here. Now, the first of all, that I've heard it said that active balancers actually use more power or using a lot of power in standby. So some claim that this active balancing consumes excessive power, which drains the battery if you don't use it. Now, in reality, this just isn't true. Roma's active balancer only operates when necessary, when the cell voltage difference exceeds the threshold, and it consumes less than 2 milliamps in standby mode and 5 milliamps in operation. So that's much, much less. It's about 3.5 amp hours a month. So it's a negligible amount for a leisure battery user. The second myth is that active balancers can actually wreck your battery cell balance overall. So this suggests that active balancers, because they run continuously, even when the battery is low, can lead to bottom balancing. Now, if you have cells that aren't exactly the same, this will then balance the cells at the bottom, And then when you charge it, it then balances at the top, and then when you discharge it, it balances at the bottom. Now, this would be true if the active balancer worked all the way down to the very low sort of 2.5 volts on the cells, but actually the Roma active balancer only operates when it's at least 3 volts or more, and you can configure that in the BMS settings as well. So this means that it's not going to be bottom balancing unless you need it, and you can also fine tune those settings, and you can make sure that stays consistent. Roma introduced active balancing technology with their Smart 3 range, and it's been a significant innovation, particularly for camper vans where irregular charging is common. Now, for camper van and boat owners that are looking to upgrade their power systems, the Roma Smart 4 battery comes with active balancing as standard, and this offers that significant improvement over traditional passive balancing methods. By keeping these cells in close balance, it's going to prevent premature shutdowns, it's going to ensure longer battery life and allow for more efficient and reliable charging. Plus, with the Roma Smart app, you can gain complete control over this balancing process. It makes it a versatile, powerful and future-proof option for any camper van setup.